I didn't bring a water bottle today, so I need to go down to the creek and drink some of the water, but I really don't want to take the time to boil the water, build a fire, boil the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for some type of hollow tube that I can make a primitive life straw out of. And really the only thing we have around here are probably cow parsnip, if I can find some of that. So that's what I want to go do now is look around down here by the creek and see if I can find some cow parsnip. So right here, you can see this is cow parsnip. One way you can tell is by the umbra head, seed head that's on here, but the stems are hollow. You can see how they just collapse. Cow parsnip is pretty interesting because the Indians used it quite a bit. They would take the outer skin off and then peel it, and you could eat it raw. It kind of tastes like celery. It's in the carrot family. Kind of has a texture like rhubarb. But the most amazing thing about it is that the roots can be chewed up and used as a poultice, to draw infections out. But what's even more amazing is that it's known, even by the botanical, the Physician's Desk Reference Botanical Book, is that cow parsnip is known to restore nervous disorder. And I know a friend of mine that treated a guy with paralysis from the waist down and treated him with cow parsnip root, made into a strong tea. And so what he did then, he treated the guy for a number of years, and the guy's actually starting to walk right now. So cow parsnip is really quite amazing plant we have here in Wyoming. So I'm going to cut some of these stems now to make a water filter. Kids used to use it for making whistles and flutes, but you got to be careful because it looks somewhat like water hemlock, and water hemlock is extremely poisonous. And there's been known deaths back in the early days of kids who were sucking on the stems or making whistles or chewing on it that died. So water hemlock is very, very poisonous. You don't want to mistake it for cow parsnip. So we're going to go ahead and pick some of these stalks here and stuff, and then I'm going to make a primitive water filter. These also make kind of cool blow tubes for your fire when you got to go ahead and get coals going on your fire. So they make also a great blow tube. But you want to make sure it's cow parsnip, and I'm pretty familiar with it, especially with this type of head. The leaves are really broad, lobed leaves, leaves, so it's pretty easy to see that also. Okay, this is a piece of cow parsnip stalk, and I left it pretty long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a water filter out of this so I can go down to the creek and drink out of it. I know that in this part of the country, upstream up here, besides just wildlife, there's livestock up there and on the Forest Service, and so I don't want to take any chance of getting any waterborne diseases and stuff with Giardia, etc. So the first thing I'm going to do is, make sure it's pretty clean, and then I'm going to start with just some grass and make a little ball out of it. I'm going to do that for my first layer and just stuff it in the, I guess this kind of bigger end. stuff that in there to make a plug so that any of the larger stuff won't go through it. And the next thing, what I did, I got some charcoal from my fire last night. I want to grind that up and drop that in there. Now, the great thing about charcoal is that it helps purify a lot of the organisms that's in the water. That's why they have charcoal filters. And then I need to plug it. Okay. So I got a stem here to tamp that down in there. You want to kind of get it pretty fine. And I'll make several layers of charcoal, just because I think it's the more you have, the better. It's still easy to suck water through it, but I think overdoing it's better than not having enough. So I got a layer of charcoal in there. Now I'm going to put some sand in it. So you can see where I started with the straw. Now I'm getting lower or higher up on it. Alrighty. Okay, so another layer of charcoal. More sand. Pack that down in there. Charcoal. Okay, one more layer of sand. And then to cap it off, I'm going to go ahead and put one more plug of grass in there. That way it keeps the sand from coming up into your mouth. A little tight. Just like loading a muzzle loader. Okay. Yep. That's going to work. All right, so let's go down to the creek and test it out so I can get a drink of water for today. Whew. All right, that works pretty good. Got a piece of grass in there, but anyway, that's one way you can filter your water. You know, it's clear as this looks. It looks great, but you won't take any chances of Giardia and cryptospores. So yeah, this works out great.